Hello everyone, I'm Erims, and I will be running Stray New Presents. And in the commentary, I will be joined by SatoriEarth.
Hello.
So yeah, I guess we can just go straight away. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Kitty time.
And right at the start is probably the scariest part for the marathon. I will be doing a skip that will lose about 2 minutes if I fail it. So let's hope, I guess.
Yeah, we start off. We get some cute kitty playtime, and those of you familiar with the game, after the cute kitty playtime, each cat will go down and take a nap on this piece of cardboard off to the left here. What you're supposed to do is join your kitty friends for a little nap. What Erims is going to do is actually position himself off to the side so that he can still get the prompt to take that nap, but by being off to the side and hitting the prompt, it should lock the cat out of place, which will initiate the game to progress, but not actually pull the cat into the cinematic that is supposed to come here. So it's going to allow him to skip this cinematic, which I can't remember how long the cinematic actually is. It's like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes.
I actually don't remember at all.
Yeah, I run glitchless and watch it every time, and I
like
still don't even know.
1 minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a minute if you don't do the pipe.
Yeah, so the game's not going to be able to pull the cat to its starting point for after the cinematic, and it's going to just allow Erims to have control of the cat after the fade out here. And he's basically just going to drop down into the regular map to continue the rest of the intro, hopefully with no issue here.
Cool. I did not like that. Let's restart. Okay.
Beautifully done. And he's not quite out of the woods. He's just got to make sure that he doesn't accidentally hit a trigger for the cinematic that still exists next to the other cats. But we're pretty good. And the rest of this is just a nice little run. Nothing special happening here. There is a little bit of a sad scene at the end of this, those of you familiar with the game. But you at home have an amazing speedrun skip that you can do yourself. You tab over to the donation page and donate to a good cause. You don't have to watch the scene. And speaking of donations, do we have any early donations?
Oh, of course. And thank you for doing my job for me with that expert segue. That was really well done. We have a $500 donation from Nathan, who says, simply, here's to a good run. Let's go. Let's see it. We also have a $50 donation from At the Violet Hour, who says, I'm so excited for the Stray run because my wife Anna and I recently adopted 2 cats named Tali and Ishtola. Hopefully I said that right. Tali is sick right now, but she loves to watch Stray, so I hope this run makes her feel better. Here's the cats gaming and defeating cancer.
You have time for a few more.
Oh, all right. I got plenty for you. All right. We also have $111.11 from Anonymous, our favorite donator, who says, cat. And Peachy Chan writes in with $50 saying, thanks so much to all the runners and organizers of GDQ. Y'all are amazing. All right. $50 comes in from Aubrey, who writes, have to donate for Mario Kart. Love the Pokemon run and looking forward to Stray as well. Thank you to AGDQ and to my boyfriend. I love you.
And probably about 1 or 2 more here.
Sounds great to me. All right. We have $50 from Hey Look a Taco saying, Haiku, the robot? Of course, it should be dunked on. Basketball hoop swish. And lastly, $100 comes in from Hunt11, who says, due to work, I missed most of GDQ so far, but it's nice finally having time to just sit down and watch it. Well, I hope you enjoy, Hunt.
All right, so yeah, we don't got a lot of speedrun stuff happening just yet in this run, but don't worry, we got some crazy skips coming in this one. but lore-wise, we open up with our kitty with his friends, goes for a little run, and deleted scene, kitty is separated from their friends and stuck in this city. And for some reason, this door suddenly lights up and opens. We don't quite know yet, and we get a glimpse of some sentient pizza pockets. But right here, Erims is just gonna move forward as intended, pretty much. So as we progress through this area, the electronics all around will kind of like interact and hint to the player / the kitty that it should be followed. There's something appears to be kind of watching us. There's cameras where if you meow, the cameras will actually nod at you, kind of going like, yeah, I see you there. There'll be TV monitors here and there that will have some arrows that will point at you. Signs will light up and flash, kind of hinting, follow this. Someone wants to meet this cat. So it's just a lot of expert platforming. The game's pretty straightforward in terms of the platforming. You can't just like free jump or anything like that. But with that, it does take a lot of mastery to be able to fluidly move through the game and actually get a lot of the prompts that you want to be getting. And not
as soon as you see that.
Yeah, and not commentators curse, and not have the cat just jump down on you like that. And Erims did a little trick there. You can kind of position yourself between the ledge and the paint can. You're supposed to knock over that paint can to break a window and then jump down after it to go through. But if you position yourself in between it, the collision from the can will just kind of push the cat over the edge and you can drop down with it to save a few seconds. So here we saw the pizza pockets attacking this robot who's seen better days because of it. And we're going to drop down and get a full-on face-to-face introduction to these creatures. The lore behind them, their names are Zerks. They're actually... Human civilization at this point has died out hundreds of years ago. And they did create, because they were locked in this city to escape some nondescript plague, they created a bacteria to eat their waste, and the bacteria kind of evolved into these creatures that just eat anything and everything in sight. So here Erims is just gonna go for a little run trying to escape them. He'll be using the meow to shake them off whenever one does attach to him. On PC, runners will tend to bind their meow to their scroll wheel just so they can meow really fast, and allows for quick shake-offs of the Zerks.
Actually, I can't because I have help as well on the scroll wheel.
Fair. Well,
so I have to mash,
the new
sadly.
cutscene skip, yeah. So some runners do that. It will make it a little easier, but when you have a good feel for it, most areas of the game are pretty decent for being able to shake them off pretty quick. Unfortunate animation there.
Love to see that.
Yeah, I hate when that one just randomly happens. Every now and then the cat will have just like a shorted jump animation like that, and it's just an extra second and a half basically before you actually can move again. But here we're following again all the signs, just making our way, figuring out where we're supposed to go here, trying to get back home to our family, and we probably have room for a few more donations just before we get to the flat here.
My pleasure. We have plenty coming in. many of them cat themed. So first we have $50 from Matt L saying, when does the cat ride the airboat? $50 also from Millhouse saying, psst, come here, kitty. I love you.
That actually scared me.
I'm sorry. Not my intent. Not my intent. And we also had a $1,000 donation. Boy,
Wow.
from Mr. Bite coming in, who just says, I just want to wish my best friend Iron Mog a happy birthday and another year of having successfully beat cancer. Congratulations to Iron Mog for that, and happy birthday.
Amazing. All right, so here we come into the flat. This is where we've been directed through the first little bit to come to. And now we get to actually see a monitor. Need help. And in typical cat fashion, we're just going to mash a bunch of keys with our paws on the keyboard to communicate. So
And
as
coming
soon as
up
we get
is the favorite room of Satori's.
favorite room of a lot of runners. So there's a bunch of interaction prompts in here. The interaction prompts can be quite finicky sometimes. So I'm just gonna somehow know to just put these batteries in place, which is going to power up this secret door. And up here, we're gonna knock down this box, which you can see on a monitor in the back, kind of hinting like this thing. We need that thing. And we're gonna put it on this platform, and it's gonna power up and load up who's been directing us to come here. So here we're going to meet B12. And at this point of the story, all we get to learn of B12 is that they're some sort of an AI, they believe, that worked with a scientist. They've been stuck in the computer system in this flat for quite a long time. I think it's like something several hundred years or something at this point. So they kind of been secluded, and they don't really know for sure why they were there at this point anymore. It's been so long that just left by themselves that their memory's not the best on everything. But when they saw that cat on the cameras, they knew that they had to make contact, because that's something that doesn't normally happen. So we loaded B12 into this little drone, and it's going to be our little friend now. And so Erims is skipping through the dialogue super fast. That's with the scroll wheel. And with that, it allows us to kind of communicate with the environment and some of the robots we're going to be coming in encounter with right away. But that's where we get all of our lore, and we're going to collect some memories throughout. There's ones that are part of the story. There's a bunch of optional ones you can get, and they're basically B12's memories of putting everything back together. So Erims is going to skip the little scene here that we're supposed to have with B12. Perfectly done. And we're going to enter the slums, which is a robot-inhabited place. And we get some nice little spins in the bucket.
Very
Hills, yeah. Very important spins. They actually do nothing for the speed run, but pretty much every runner does them, because why wouldn't you? You're in the bucket. You got nothing else to do. You got a few seconds, just spin. You gotta spin. So yeah, the small orange creature, kind of like those sentient pizza pockets. All the robots are absolutely terrified of us. They don't know what we are. They think we're one of the Zerks. But we're gonna meet one. They're going to establish that we're not a threat, and they basically tell us, well, you can do whatever you want pretty much, as just so long as you don't try to eat anyone. So with B12's help, we can communicate with all of them. Normally, you're able to kind of free roam through this area, but as soon as we get out of this, Erims is going to get into some strange things. So we get our little scene here with the guardian of the village. So a couple quick interactions here. He's going to direct us what we're supposed to be doing to progress the game. But once we come out of this, we're not going to do that. And you'll notice that these robots have a lot of human mannerisms. They wear clothes, they do art, they'll play instruments, they run a bar. Basically, they used to be helpers of the humans while the humans were still alive, and they really loved the humans and just kind of took it upon themselves to just maintain, like, human behaviors and traditions. So Erims is going to do a quick frame rate swap because we've got some crazy speed tech coming up here. So normally we're supposed to collect a bunch of journals and go meet up with a specific robot. What Erims is going to do is clip into a room that we're supposed to not be in just yet and go up on over top of this bed, and he's going to do a precise setup here to jump off. This is called the sleep paralysis skip. And what this is going to do is basically going to lose the game's tracking of the cat and allow him to just kind of run through the ground and walls. And we're just going to run off into the void. And he's going to end up just over top of the sewer section, which, if you're familiar with the game, this is, 3 chapters later? And he's just going to drop into a checkpoint, reload, and go back out to main menu, load back into the game, and at this point of the game's like, well, you've done all those chapters. So we've just effectively skipped, almost 4 chapters, because we entered Slums 1, but we didn't really do any of the stuff you're supposed to do in Slums 1. So we've effectively skipped 4 chapters of the game.
Yeah, we went from chapter 4 straight to chapter 8.
So now we get just a nice little peaceful raft ride. But yeah, we skipped through a bunch of sections, and for the runners of this category, very nice, because you don't have to do rooftops. Rooftops can be a hell of a run killer because there's a ton of Zerks on rooftops, and some of the strats there are really risky. But they just have a risky skip to do, and now a peaceful raft ride. So, Konception, another time for some donations would be good.
Absolutely. Well, we have some very touching donations coming through from many cat owners. So $25 from Salbo, as they write in, had to donate during Stray in honor of my cat Mouse, who provided lots of cuddles and warmth while I went through a brain cancer scare. He is no longer with us, but this game just reminds me of the 19 wonderful years we had with him. I love you, Mouse. You are the bestest boy ever. We also have a $50 donation coming through from Jester Kit, who says, gotta donate during the Stray run. Don't know where I'd be without my own former Stray, Mr. Marmello.
Love these cat stories.
I know, aren't they just so touching? Warms the heart, warms the heart. A personal shout out to you, Satori, from Pumpkin, who donated $50, saying, just don't look at the stream and it'll be okay, right? Just focus on the donate page. The cat will be okay. Everything is fine. Breathe. Just don't look up. Focus on the donate page.
Exactly.
They took your advice to heart.
You guys are going to have that skip coming up at the end of the game, too. So don't forget how to do that skip, chat.
All right. Do we have time for a few more? Yeah?
Yeah, just a couple more here.
All right. Let's get some quick ones in. $10 from Doodlebee. If Stray's speedrun had a tagline, would it be Gato Go Fast? And finally, of course, $50 from The Sound Defense, who says, fun fact, cats always land on their feet after plummeting through a seam in the world and falling out of bounds. I did not know that.
So yeah, with that last little bit, you probably noticed a little bit of a strange purple light coming from B12 in some of the chapters we skipped. We were supposed to go and meet up with a scientist robot who developed a UV light beam that can kill the Zerks. They apparently just don't do well with UV light. So normally, of course, you go and you meet him and you get it that way. But with the skip and, you know, how we loaded out to menu and came back into the game assumes that we have completed those chapters and just gives it to us anyway. So it's quite nice. We don't miss out on anything, and how this section would be so much harder to get through without it. You could do it. There actually is an achievement and trophy in the game to actually go through all of sewers without killing any of the Zerks. But it's a hell of a lot easier with it. So here in the sewers, we're going to have another nice little skip coming up somewhat soon. But first, the next little bits, all as intended, just running through. A little bit of platforming. Nothing too crazy. Oh, you have to excuse me, I am getting over a cold, so every now and then my throat's just like, hey, why don't we cough? But coming up in this room, we got a huge amount of Zerks, so Erims is going to prep B12 right away. You can avoid an animation of having B12 come out of the backpack by, you know, getting him out early. Using the light to help him repel the Zerks a bit faster, and we're just gonna run through a whole mess of them. So they spawn in pretty consistent spots, so as long as you're ready for them, you can use the beam to generally get rid of most of them before they even have a chance to get on you. And you can also put the beam directly on yourself to get rid of ones that do get on you, and then of course meow. But coming up into this next room, it's called Water Room. Obviously, it's got a bunch of water in it. But Erims is not going to do what we're supposed to do in here, which is activate 2 separate panels to open up a door. He's going to run off to the pipe here and use another precise setup. I don't actually know the details of this one too well as to how this skip actually ends up working.
Well, not like this at least.
But with this, it's going to basically allow him to sink into the ground and pass under the water. The game's just not going to have... Sorry. Not going to recognize the water as a hazard for the cat anymore. And he's going to be able to run underneath the water and through the door that way, instead of having to do this as intended.
I guess I'm gonna get the checkpoints.
So just a little bit of backup so he doesn't have to go so far. There we go. So that's what he's looking for. He's now under the water, able to just clip through underneath the door. And the collision's still not quite there, so even though he's running on the ground here, what he's going to be able to do is just run off, avoid a cutscene trigger here where we normally lose B12's ability to blast the Zerks. B12, we get swarmed, B12 comes to our defense, overloads its circuits, burns out, and the cat normally grabs B12 and goes off for a run. But we skip that cinematic, drop down, Erims hit the checkpoint just after the cinematic, and reset the checkpoint to be able to just progress. Normally we have a bunch of intense music here in that, but because of the skip, it's missing. And we still have the ability to use the light to blast Zerks, because the cinematic never happened where B12 loses the ability. So nice little quick run to the end, just like that. And then we get the music right at the end. Just for a couple, like half a measure. So B12, normally from the cinematic, is all burnt out. Cat kind of wakes up B12, makes sure B12's okay, comes to, and we're good to go. And then we're going to come up to Ant Village. I'll just explain what's going to happen at Ant Village quickly, and then we can throw it over for some more donos. But in Ant Village, Erims is going to skip the cutscene here, but there's a little cutscene where a pod similar to what was in the flat earlier on when we first met B12 is there, and B12 comes to a revelation that, wait, I wasn't an AI assistant to the scientist. I was the scientist and uploaded my consciousness into the computer. So right now B12 normally is just like really quiet and kind of reveling in that fact until we get up here. But yeah, we just kind of skipped that cinematic and probably got time for a few donations before we actually get up into Midtown. We gotta meet up with this robot and just a little bit more platforming and another cinematic after that.
Absolutely. Always happy to provide. $500 from Marielle said, I tried to see if my mom's cat, Mochi, would be interested in Stray last Christmas. Mochi wasn't interested, but I did find a new family tradition for the holidays. Thank you, runners, staff, and everyone else involved in AGDQ for all the entertainment and hope that you've provided all these years. Grembler also writes in with $50 saying, save the animals and pet the kitties. It's great to see Stray featured at GDQ this year. Good luck and have a perfect run. We also received $100 from Crispy Potato saying, Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I run, and I run.
They gotta be a millennial or older.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one takes me back to me back.
That's old internet. That's old internet.
Well, Crispy Potatoes picked the exact right old guy host, so thank you for that. Do we have time for one more, or?
Yeah, go for one more.
Okay, we got it. $25 from Tired Dad, who says, I love cats. I love every kind of cat. I just want to hug all of them, but I can't. Can't hug every cat. Love the marathon so far and even took off a few extra days from work just so I could watch. As someone who used to run Mario Kart 8, I had to donate to see the new tracks. Keep up the amazing work, everyone.
All right, so now we're in Midtown. We're supposed to go around, meet up with another robot named Clem. We're going to do that shortly. After that, we have to collect a bunch of things, do a bunch of miscellaneous tasks to progress in Midtown. What Erims did there is got one of the items early. There's a worker's helmet that we're going to need for a disguise later on. And Erims just kind of does this little spin there, and you can actually get this prompt. It's actually meant as a way to get out of the store. But you can get the prompt to appear on this stick on a grate to open it, to pop up from the outside. And by doing that, it allows you to, well, get inside early. Because normally the shopkeeper will keep you out of the store. Actually, I don't even think the door's open yet. But even when the door's open, the shopkeeper's there and he'll shoo you away anytime you try to enter the store. Which normally, there's a worker that's carrying in boxes. You have to jump in a box, have them carry you in. And that's how you would get the hat normally. So Erims, well, he's going to Clem here, jumped on a few cameras, and he jumped on another one there. We need to get rid of that because these three don't want to be brought down by the police state that isn't allowing them to dance and jam. And as a thank you for getting rid of those surveillance cameras, gives us a tape, and we're going to use it to distract a shopkeeper to get the other item we need for the disguise, a worker's vest. So now that Erims has those items, we can meet up with Clem's contact, Blazer here. We're going to talk to him. He's going to tell us about the factory, and we're going to give him the disguise. Jump in the box, and he's going to disguise himself as a worker, bring the box to the door, and allow us to get into this factory because we need to get a power supply to power up the subway that we had passed through on the way up into the streets here. Excuse me. So here I'm going to inspect the box. It's a pretty nice box. Yep, that's a box. Looks like a nice box. And we're good to go into the factory. So in the factory, we've got a bunch of... Wow, my brain just blanked on their actual in-game name.
Sentinel, I believe.
Sentinels, there we go. Wow, I don't know why my brain just dropped that word right now. But yeah, we got a bunch of Sentinels that are kind of patrolling around. They are lethal. If you get hit once, you are down. Generally not too much of a concern though, as long as you keep a nice consistent path through here. I don't think you use the meow strats, do you?
Not here.
Not here? Okay. There is a strat, particularly these last two. One of them can follow you all the way to the barrel coming up, so you can use meow strats before you meet their gaze, and it'll cause them to just like snap their gaze a little too aggressively, and you can run through before they actually detect you. But again, like as you saw, Erims just ran straight through. Not too much of a concern as long as you keep moving and know your path.
Yeah, the only thing that's scary is that there's no checkpoint until you get to this room. So if you die, you restart at when we jump out of the box.
Yes, deaths in this game can be very punishing. A lot of the checkpoints are very far spaced apart, and you could lose several minutes to a death. But here we're supposed to get the barrel and these two things on to these three platforms, but we got a small little skip here. Doesn't save too much time, but you know, it looks pretty damn fancy. We get the barrel close to the pillar, only get the things on two of the platforms, and use the cat for the third platform, and you can jump up and hit the prompt before it actually goes back up. So now that we have the power supply, we're going to go meet back up with Clem, and we're going to find out that Clem is no longer in their apartment. They moved on, but they left a note and some clues for us as to where their whereabouts are. They're being tracked by the police, because again, the robots are, you know, mimicking humans, and well, this is a nicer place. You gotta crack down the law. So we're gonna run through a few Sentinels here, up to Clem's. These ones on the way in aren't too much of a concern. The one that patrols this last area can be a nuisance on the way out, though. So hopefully we get some good RNG as to where it is in its pathing on the way out. There's a nice little backup strat, though. It just takes an extra couple seconds, though, if it is waiting right outside the window. But here, Erims is just going to quickly grab these three clues. They all give us a little bit of information as to where Clem is. And it tells us to go to the nightclub. So we're going to go to the nightclub. And yeah, that Sentinel's way out at the end, so we're clear. That's what you want to see. Sometimes that Sentinel's right there as soon as you come out the window.
Most of the time, actually.
Yeah. So, we're supposed to go into the nightclub and meet up with Blazer in the nightclub. Blazer's got Clem tied up in there, betrays us and all that, and we get taken to jail, but we're just gonna go to jail on our own accord by going into the window. And when you go into the window, the game bleeds. Like, you're supposed to go straight into the club. You're not supposed to be able to get back out. The window gets closed behind you, and it deloads the rest of the area because you're supposed to be stuck in the club. But there's one jump prompt you can get when you're on the windowsill to get back out. And because of that, as you saw, Erims was able to run back out into the street and drop down, and luckily it's already loaded in the jail just below the Midtown map. So he's able to drop through the map and drop straight into the jail, which skips having to run around the nightclub for a moment and watch a cutscene at the end of the nightclub. And it also avoids having to break out of the cage that the cat's normally in at the start of jail. So we're just going to drop in here. Clem's going to just point in that because Erims does still have B12 because of one of the skips earlier, but normally the backpack and B12 are not supposed to be with the cat. They get taken away when you come to the jail. So we got to get Clem out of the cell and work to go save another B12. Because B12 is actually elsewhere in the jail right now. You know, the B12 you see is not the B12, but it's B12. We probably got time for about 2 donations before we get to B12 here.
Well, absolutely. And I'd like to start off with some great news, which is that we have hit $800,000.
Hi.
Well done, everyone. Thank you so much for your donations. And of course, just as a nice segue into it, let's get 1 or 2 done here. $25 comes in from Kara, who said, I just saw the interview with Jay Hobbs just now, and man, after losing someone dear to me from lung cancer, it's amazing to know that AGDQ has helped a lot in terms of just early lung cancer screenings, among other things. I'm grateful for this marathon each year and the strides we make towards beating cancer. We also have $100 from Ken X Cow, and I'm gonna warn Erims in advance here. I'm gonna do another, and I'm not trying to scare you. Here we go. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Psst, 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 psst. Who's a pretty kitty?
All right, so here we see B12's locked down on this platform. There's a bunch of laser sensors everywhere. Sentinels patrolling the entire area. So we gotta go save our little robot buddy.
And since I still have B12, I can just interact with Clem and she opened the door from really far away. And then we can just teleport her here. But Clem is in a glitch state right now, so if I die, I won't be able to restart checkpoints. And, well, kind of rip.
Yeah, so I was just going to expertly go past everything, use a meow strat there. As you can see, that's what I was talking about earlier with the Sentinel
jump
moving really quickly. And here we got a little cutscene, but we're able to move during this cutscene. So instead of having to like dodge all these Sentinels to get to the B12 platform after shutting off the like laser wall that was around B12, we can just run straight to B12 during the cinematic, and by the time the cinematic ends, we're at B12. And we can just pick them up and run off back to Clem. And because now that we did what the game expects us to do, it brings Clem out of the glitch state and back into normal progression.
Actually, not yet. It's after I restart the checkpoints. Well, but if you die, you don't get the checkpoints.
Yeah. But yeah, since we got B12, we get that checkpoint, quick reset, and we're back. And now I get to rub in that I'm a console runner here, because there's a strat here. It's such a small time save, but there's a strat here. Clem's gonna break this window, and we have to jump off Clem's head and up into the window. You can get a really fast jump off of Clem here. As soon as you jump on Clem's head and get the window prompt immediately. Yeah, see.
I don't know why I just
have to wait
cannot get it
Clem.
at 60 FPS on PC. It really is on PS5, but on PC
on
I just
PS5,
can't.
there's an easy setup, and you can get that fast jump really consistently. But sometimes you'll just have to wait for Clem to stand up. So it's an extra couple seconds, not much, but you know, I got to throw in my digs where I can because we don't get a lot of them. So here we need to lock a few sentinels into some jail cells. Luckily, there's some heavy vegetation in that first one. Makes that short work of the first sentinel. You just get it to meow, get it to follow you in there, hide in the vegetation, hit the door, and you're good. Next ones can be a little trickier. So Erims is going to try to get the attention of the middle one first, which is crucial, otherwise it won't follow you fast enough. Get the other one, close the door. Since there's a bit of time that it takes the door to close, they should both follow in before the door actually closes, and just like that, both of them are locked in there. And you can see a few of those shots came pretty close, so it's a risky strat. There's a few things that can go wrong. The first one can sometimes not get alert and not follow you fast enough into the cell. And also, you can just have a death there. And as we talked, deaths can be quite costly. Although that one's at the second door. It's some areas of the game, that checkpoint would have been at the beginning of the entire yard. Alright, so here we're going to steal a van, get out of here. There's going to be a nice other tiny little strat that Erims is going to do at the end, where we can jump onto the van a little early once Clem starts driving off here, once we get the gate open. Normally you're supposed to chase after Clem down a little corridor, and there's a couple sentinels following you, shooting at you. Can get a little dicey, and it's a few seconds of running before you get a prompt to jump on the van. But with taking some nice tight corners and a nice straight line to the van, you can get a prompt early before it even gets out of the door. And we can trigger the cinematic something like 12-20 seconds earlier. Everyone seems to have a different take on exactly how much time this saves, even though it could be easily timed. But there you go, nicely like that, right up onto there. And we've got a little bit of some cinematic, and then a long ride once we get the battery set in coming up. So I think we got some time for some more donations here.
That sounds great. And let me just say, I'm loving hearing all of these stories about people's cats and pets at home. They're very endearing, so feel free to let those keep coming in. Just like this one from Emily, who donated $25 to say, couldn't help but donate during Stray as I watched with my own two kitties, Aries and Artemis. I've only had them for a few months, but I can't imagine life without them now.
Aww.
Snoring Frog has a similar idea to me, donates $5 to say, can we get a $5 train of cat names? This goes out to my roommate's cats, Ari, Bevins, Lynx, and Quinn. Those are cool names. Yeah, let's see some cat names. We love it. We have a $10 donation from Chazman, who lets us know that they are donating in honor of my cat Shadow, who passed away recently from cancer. Thinking about you, Shadow.
Oh.
And lastly, $50 from Alice Tubington, who said, we miss you, Marson. Best fat cat we could have asked for.
Well, we got cat names, so we've had a few touching cat stories of some long-lived, beloved cats. I personally grew up with a cat. My parents got a cat when I was like 4 months old. And Max, he lived to 18, so I literally grew up with a cat. Hence my deep-seated love for cats. I grew up with a cat as... I'm an only child, grew up with a cat as my sibling and best friend. All 18 years. And now my roommate's got a couple lovely cats, Moo and Teacup, which are the theme for most of my emotes.
Excellent names, too, by the way. Moo and Teacup, that's adorable.
Oh yeah, Teacup's actually a video game reference, the game The Cat Lady. Alright, so we got the subway going here. Got it powered up with the battery cell, whatever the video game power cell. You always gotta have a power cell. Can't have a video game without a power cell. But we got the subway powered up, which is going to get us up to the last little settlement, which is like pretty much fully abandoned. These robots aren't like all the other ones. These ones are pretty much in their original servitor state, just doing random tasks. Erims is going to go up. He's going to do a little skip here. Using this, normally we're supposed to have B12 try to hack a panel while we scratch some wires to get this door to open, but Erims is just going to shove this halfway through the door and use it to spin and clip through the door. And he's going to do another quick opening of the help menu to skip another little bit of a cutscene here. And in control room, we've got a bunch of panels that we're going to have to. What we didn't do on the door, we're going to help B12 hack by doing, normal cat things and scratch stuff. And somehow scratching electrical panels doesn't electrocute the cat, but helps in hacking. Just like real life. That's how it works, right? Pretty sure how it works. So, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get back out of the city. Of course, we want to meet up with our kitty friends. Most of the robots that really helped us along the way here, they were part of a group called the Outsiders. I didn't touch on, and their group was just to get someone to the outside. They knew there had to be something outside of the walls. They knew there was something out there, and that was their goal. Is that someone from the group needs to get outside, and they kind of adopted the cat as part of their group. So Clem, at the end of jail there, decided to distract the Sentinels to give us the getaway, and Clem's just like, you just need to get out. It doesn't matter who, someone needs to get out. So we went off with B12, and we're gonna open up the city with B12 by hacking all the locks and getting ourselves out. So we're on the last panel here. But doing this is taking a big toll on the little drone that B12's in circuitry. So it's burnt out. B12 can't fly around anymore. So we have to carry B12 to the final panel to open everything up. But this is going to completely fry the drone here. Chat, here's time for you to do that skip again. Go hit that donate. Grab that tab in your browser and look away. But B12 helps us, and we get the city. The city will open up here, which is actually a really cool cinematic. If you, we do get the cinematic of the city opening, but if you actually spend time after the cinematic and watch it, like you can watch the entire thing fully open up. The view from this window, you can see, pretty much identify all of the areas of the game that you've spent time in. It's a really, really well-crafted actual map where you get a good view of everywhere you've been in the game, pretty much. But as this opens up again, all of the Zerks, of course, being sensitive to UV light, get fried by the sun. The city's powered up. There's no longer any threat. It's opened up. It doesn't need to be locked off, so all the Sentinels power down, and the robots are just in awe of the city opening up. So we get to see everyone that we met in our journey. And finally make our way out of the city. Those of you really worried about B12, there's a little hint of a power on a panel that comes up at the end cutscene, but there might be something there. But Erims, you want to close out? Time's coming up here.
Yeah, very soon. When the screen fades to black. Now, time. And yeah, that was Stray 80%. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Huge thanks to my commentator, Satori, which is an amazing streamer. If you want to check it out, I highly suggest it. If you want a chill stream, it's the perfect choice. And yeah, if you guys are interested in the speedruns, you can go check the speedrun.com page and the Discord. And yeah, Satori.
Yeah, the Stray community has been very awesome. There's some great people in the Stray community, and they're always eager to help new runners.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether you're picking it up glitchless and just learning the optimizations there, or if you're looking to learn a category like this, there's also hundo categories that both have glitchless and glitched versions, and the hundo category for the glitched also, unrestricted, has some additional ones that you didn't get to see today because you have to go back to those areas that we skipped for some collectibles and that. But there are glitches you can do to speed up those areas.
And yeah, that's about it, I guess. Thanks for having us. And hope you enjoyed the events.
Check out the runner. Erims is a gifted runner. He doesn't like to talk himself up, but he's a gifted runner. He picked this game up and just flew with it. Took everyone by storm. It didn't surprise me, though, because I've watched this man run the Uncharted games and just dominate those games as well. That's good.
All right. Thank you again so much to Erims and SatoriEarth for putting on such an excellent and lovely showcase of a beautiful game, Stray. And we do have plenty of donations still coming through, a lot of touching stories about folks' cats. For example, we had a $50 donation from Baron Von Fancy Socks, who says, "My humans tell me that this cat looks like I did as a kitten. Yahweh, I'm much fancier." And folks, we are going to have some special messages from our friends at Annapurna Interactive, and I think you're going to think they're pretty relevant. All right, and welcome back. Yes, absolutely. Just some beautiful, timely ads. We just had Stray, and of course, we are getting ready now for Neon White. Would like to remind everyone, of course, we do have an open incentive for Neon White as well, which is the Rainbow Heaven Rush. Speaking of, $15 from Sly Dante, who said, "Fact. Stray is a kitty that can operate a vending machine. Therefore, Stray is the year's best game. And since this is the year's best game, we should donate as much money as possible during Erims' run of it. So let's go. Good luck to Erims. And here is my contribution towards unlocking the Rainbow Heaven Rush for Neon White." What a fantastic idea. Let's go ahead and get that donation met. And folks, if you have cats at home, now is going to be a good time for you to get up, maybe stretch, give them a little pet, make sure they don't knock anything over off of your counters as we take a little wellness break, and we'll see you in just a few short moments. Mm-hmm. All right, and welcome back to Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 online. $50 comes in from Zach and Amanda, who said, donation to the host's choice. We are making this donation in honor of our cat, Rory. We lost him this past Monday due to bone cancer in his chin. We loved his humans, treats, naps, and any video game loading screen or title screen with falling leaves, snow, or spores. We missed him dearly and hope that one day we can have a cure, not just for our human friends, but our animal friends too. Well, thank you so much for sharing Rory's story. And my choice here will be going, of course, towards the Rainbow Heaven Rush for Neon White. Folks, that being said, we are getting ready here to have a lovely recap of the day with our wonderful crew. So go ahead and why don't you show us some highlights for the day?
Hello, everyone? Hope you're enjoying your awesome games done quick online 2023. I am Kung Fu Fruit Cup, and I am here to do the daily recap this evening with my lovely interview team, Adef and Keys are on. What's up, guys?
Gamers?
I'm here.
Wednesday night.
I'm ready for some.
Look, we've had another... I'm sorry, we're real goofy. We've had another awesome day of runs, and of course, we are here to show you some moments from that. So I'm ready to get into it because we have plenty to talk about. There's been, again, like, the schedule has been so good this week. So I want to start with Keys. I know you got something you want to talk about.
Absolutely. I mean, you said that we're a goofy bunch, and you know who else is goofy? Nerd Squared, the runner of Poppy Playtime. I mean, I don't really have to explain anything. It's kind of just listen to the clip. They decided to be super duper meme about everything and put an old prize segment here on the TV during this, what I'm assuming is a cutscene of some sort. And I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. It's Dragon Ball Z. He goes Super Saiyan, then Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. But for the sake of copyright, obviously he's going Super Prize Man 2, et cetera, et cetera. Do you really have to explain anything else? What a perfect way. Yeah, we got Nerd Squared participating.
I was interviewing Nerd, and they did mention that there might be a little bit of memery going on.
This isn't a little. This is to go further beyond. This is super memery.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that required forethought and planning. Something meme-centered people often do not produce. So it's always exciting.
Wait, you
right?
mean
Exactly.
I'm talking about you and me specifically.
True.
Oh, come on. I can be included in that, right?
Tonight. We have to piss up and be nice.
I am the boss tonight. All right. You're right. I'm going to go next then. So soon after Poppy Playtime, we did have Dead Space 3. And I want to talk about that because Dead Space 3, we're going to start with this wall run clip. This is between Sharkhat and Sergeant Radish. And they work together in a Dead Space 3 co-op run. And it's really cool because there were so many moments where they're able to take advantage of each other's players to help push them through walls or onto cliffs, which then you can literally wall run up. So as you can see on the left, you see Sharkhat just running up and over this wall to get past this barrier. They did it to skip past 20-minute cutscenes and all kinds of areas all throughout the game, going out of bounds and everywhere. It was really cool. If you all were there, you would have been hearing him go, ready, go. But they expected it to do it a lot more, I remember, but they actually got a lot of these skips first try. So really good run. Definitely recommend going back and watching it.
I think what I really like about that, and I'm kind of stealing what you said while we were talking about getting this set up, is one player looks like that they're kind of guarding the inbounds area so the person can be out of bounds. The very beginning of that, you see on the right side with Sergeant Radish, that he's just defending that spot. And it's just really cool to see not only co-op runs go this well, but also just out of bounds being that.
The asynchronous co-op.
Right, exactly.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what about you, Adef?
We gotta talk about this game. Roll the clip because
Okay, here we go.
Okay, this is Sute Hakun. And I had never heard about this game until this run, and this is a game has never more quickly been this is an Adef video game. It is a puzzle platformer on the Game Boy, and it just looks delightful. Look at this guy with the nose and the blocks and the Junkyard Dave always speedruns the most delightful little games. And if you didn't catch this run, you should go watch it. And I'm definitely gonna play this. So it's an excellent run.
Right? Just one of those random Game Boy Color games. You get in there and you're like, I don't know what this is, but I love it. It's perfect. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump in to some things that happened this afternoon. For example, we had Sonic Unleashed, which the Sonic block was great today. Let's get into the clip now. You can see Spec getting in here. Not only is Spec just a ray of sunshine, and so it was a lovely run, but it's so freaking fast. So fast that Spec beat the tasks for this level. Which is absolutely ridiculous. So you can see, of course, there's a level of speed. The day stages in Unleashed happen to be just ultra quick to begin with, but Spec just decided to push that even farther and blast right past the task time, which was so cool. I loved it. But I know that's not the only Sonic one we have from today.
Yeah, so I mean, the Sonic block as a whole, fantastic. If you didn't watch it, be sure to check that out as soon as the VODs are available. I want to talk about Sonic Colors Ultimate specifically. We had a big race, and we had some of the top players for it. And my goodness, y'all, the fact that we are on stage 28, right? And it is literally almost down to the frame in sync between Blue Mania and Subaru. Like, how do you have a race that's over 26 minutes in already and be this close? Like, I don't think we get to see that too often in these races. Usually you'll see like, okay, someone's maybe like a second or two behind, or maybe someone got unlucky and fell behind like a stage or a boss, but it was down to the frames. You have to watch this race when you get a chance.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, I mean, just literally just seeing them all, they all kind of started at different times. There were a couple of, flubs here and there just to begin with. I think everybody was kind of getting into it. But then seeing like the sync up later on in the run, it was wild. Yeah, I absolutely agree. But then I'm letting Adef take the Zelda one,
all right.
which is okay.
So
so
something
hurt.
delightful happened just 2 runs ago. We had Ben Stevens 56, who I had the pleasure to interview, a very dear friend of mine, and truly just an amazing showcase of Ocarina of Time 3D. This Any Percent run has evolved so much over the last couple of years alone, and especially since the last time it was shown. And in this clip that you are about to see, Ben is doing seam walk to go out of bounds in the Hyrule Castle area in order to access the Zelda's Lullaby courtyard area without ever getting the weird egg. And this is a really cool OOB that is really difficult, especially this second half here where he's going to side hop out of bounds at a specific angle in order to catch a sort of vertically extended water area. And this is just one of the many hyper-precise, incredibly cool tricks on display in this run. You have to watch it. It was a masterclass in OOT 3D speedrunning.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, like you were saying, kind of, sort of in the interview, there's been a lot of changes and updates to the game in the last like couple years. So it's really like if you just want to kind of catch up on this series and where the speedrun has gone, like this is a really, really good example to watch. Plus, it was a great time. I know like he was really excited about the
almost being sub 30 in a marathon is really nuts. And also how delightful that a bunch of the Zelda crew are there with him. It's just nice to see some like cozy vibes.
Great.
That was genuinely my favorite
Agreed.
part of the run. I mean, we didn't have this in person, but what better way to bring an in-person vibe than have some of your closest friends just behind you rooting for you while you're doing the run on the big stage.
Exactly. I know. I thought that was so cute. It was so nice. Now, speaking of all the people watching, we wanted to ask you all kind of what your favorite runs were throughout the day. I know we picked some moments to show you, but I wanted to hear from you as well. So let's pop up with some social media social media answers. Usually it's questions for us over here, but we're gonna have some answers for you all. So it seems like a lot of what I've been seeing in these answers have been lots of Stardew Valley, which is awesome. That was a super good. That was a super good run. And then we've also had a couple answers for like Final Fantasy VII, Stray. We can see more people saying Sonic Unleashed here. I agree. Specs Energy was so good. Yeah, you can see all of these coming up. We can just let a couple just kind of, show off for you all. Yeah, we see a Final Fantasy VII here. I don't know. Is there any other honorable mentions you all would like to comment
we just
on?
had the amazing Stray run, as one of the tweets mentioned. Tremendous performance by Erims that you all just saw. Again, thank you so much for raising that money for that bonus game today. Really, really enormous effort to get that game met, and everybody did such a good job, and the run was amazing.
Agreed. Yeah, it was super, super good. We were watching it as we were kind of getting ready to speak with you all this evening, but you can see all of the love here just piling in for Stardew, Stray, etc. But I mean, again, the whole schedule, the whole day overall was wonderful. So make sure you go back and watch. We love watching the VODs after the marathon's over. I know that's something that I really enjoy to do. Plus, we have all these wonderful runs coming up after this through tomorrow. Let's start with Adef. What are you looking forward to?
To continue the Zelda trend, Gymnast was on camera in Ben's run, but Gymnast will be running Skyward Sword HD all dungeons. This is a really phenomenal category of a game that has become very short over the last few years. With the introduction of RBM, or Reverse Bit Magic, which you'll hear all about tomorrow. This run is basically like if you took a like a PhD level science project and applied it to a Zelda game, this is the run you're going to watch. And then I have to give a little special shout out to Yonoid 2 Game of a Year edition.
Are there any Noiders in chat right now?
Can I get some Noid camps in chat, please? You know, true pizza fans will know. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right. Okay. Okay, how about I definitely would agree with the Noid because and Zelda, of course. But I just love Awful Block so much. Awful Block is just one of the top highlights of my week's every event. So I'm super looking forward to that. You know, we have stuff like I'm Going to Die If We Don't Eat Sushi. We got Battle of the Arrows. We got Salamander County Public Television, Lizard Lady versus the Cats. Look, listen, just the names alone should be enticing enough for you all to watch this evening. It's going to be so much fun. Plus, to kind of open up a lot of that, we got Kirby Star Allies with Mr. Shasta. And we know Shasta is like a veteran GDQ runner, does an amazing job, lots of Kirby experience. So definitely one you're going to want to watch as well. And Keys, we'll end with you.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback off that a tiny bit and just mention that Awful Block is always a great watch. That's why I'm here, honestly. I Awful Block is why I'm even part of GDQ. Just no joke. But
yeah,
to also piggyback off of ADEF, because I'm apparently not creative tonight at all, I'm also going to talk about a Zelda game, but I'm looking forward to BS Legend of Zelda. There's a 100% race between my good friends Vanivan and Ice Blue, two people who I hang out with all the time at various events. Fantastic people, fantastic runners, and no doubt going to be a fantastic race of a game that I'm going to be perfectly honest, my friends, I did not watch until tomorrow because I don't want to be spoiled by what the heck BS Legend of Zelda means.
For sure. I agree. It's going to be great. And we got the Zeldas back to back. So perfect. But yeah, that's going to do it for us this evening for our daily recap. We love speaking with you all, hearing about your favorite moments of the day, us sharing our favorite moments of the day with you all. So thank you so much for tuning in for this. And super excited. Next up, we have the Spyro 2v2 lockout bingo. So that's going to be awesome. So hyped for that. You can see me speaking with the runners right after the race. And we'll see you for the next daily recap. See you, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Yes, what a wonderful day it has been so far. And just watching all of those clips back made me realize just how much incredible talent was on display here on this Wednesday of AGDQ 2023. Just as a reminder, we do have an incentive open currently for the upcoming Neon White run, which is to unlock the Rainbow Heaven Rush bonus incentive after the completion of the White Heaven Rush run. And we have a few people who are donating just to that. For example, Cade, who donated $50 saying, I absolutely fell in love with Neon White. I can't wait to see all the secrets the speedrunners have in store. Let's get that Rainbow Heaven Rush. Additionally, Nicholas donated $50 to say, here's to the interview crew and especially my brother, ADEF. Thank you all for guiding us through these fun, busy days. Now let's see what a real Neon can do. Donation goes towards Rainbow Heaven Rush. Additionally, Cyberbot X donated $25 saying, so looking forward to the Spyro and Kirby runs tonight. Best of luck to the runners, putting this to the Rainbow Heaven Rush in Neon White. There's still quite a number of donations related to various cat names from that excellent Stray run that I wanted to shout out really quick as we finish getting set up here. $5. We have a $5 donation from Sally Cat saying, here's a donation in honor of my house panther Garnet, who had her own brush with cancer a couple of years ago. All is well now. She is still blessing us with purrs every day. Thank you so much for all the gaming awesomeness. Username _equals_ pants donated $25 as well to say 5 tickets to the $5 cat train for Clarissa, Calvin, Calypso, Snuffles, and Jeff. Lovely cat names. A fellow train rider, Kirsten, donated $5 to say cat names Lovelace, Sputnik, Aloy, Senua, Pipkin, and Nepter. These are so creative. Wow. Speaking of that $5 train, RDO5 donated $200, saying outside of the $5 train, but this can go to 39 other passengers. This one goes out to Rascal, Nova, and their kittens. Wow, there is so much cat love. Thank you so much. All right. All right. We have $20 from Radio Chew saying 4 $5 hype train tickets, one for each of our cats. Hocus, Pocus, Allie, and Mallow. All cats are best cat, but I think ours are very best. Well, thank you so much for everyone donating towards their cat names and in memory of their cats. It was so touching to read those. But I have wonderful, wonderful news. We are indeed ready for the Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage 2v2 lockout bingo run, and I cannot wait for the whole crew to show us how it's done. Take it away.